What's up, Westfield?
We are here to talk about ways you can integrate technology into your day-to-day to help you be techie as heck.
I'm Kristen Morris.
And I'm Samantha Wilsker.
And this is your TechRocks podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's episode 4.5, and I'm excited to say we've got Samantha back with us.
I'm super excited to be back.
You've been gone. You've been really busy. We've missed you.
I have missed you guys, too. I'm very excited for today's episode and thankful that we could squeeze a little bonus one in.
Yeah, and it's a really cool topic. Pressure is privilege.
I love that. So what inspired this?
Well, many of you may not know, but Samantha and I are those friends that kick videos back and forth.
We do.
Doom scroll and send.
Yep.
So the cool part about this relationship that we have is we like to doom scroll inspirational things because we firmly believe that we speak into the universe things that we want and we achieve them with
100%.
hard work and gratitude.
Yep. And if we don't achieve them, we're able to pick out what we learned from those.
Absolutely. It's always a win-win.
It is.
And our kids go to Washington Woods, so we're in for the win-win all the time.
Habits all day.
Well, so we have this really cool video, and it kind of stemmed from a conversation Samantha and I had after, I don't know, I think it was like episode 2, I believe. We were chatting, and I had brought up a video that I had watched called The Words You Speak Matter by Jesse Itzler. And at the moment, it was honestly, because everything we do here is really off the cuff. We just kind of roll with what comes to our minds in the moment. And Samantha was kind of giving me some feedback that it would have been nice to have been able to reference that or let our listeners reference that.
Yes, because I knew, so the name is where I drew a blank because I didn't have Jesse like queued up name-wise, but his content, his video was so good. And I just knew we would have been able to speak more to that had it clicked for me.
Yeah, and so learning from that, we were really inspired by this video from Billie Jean King. She had done a commencement speech for a university, and I'd sent this to Samantha, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, and we just both loved it, and it was really all about pressure is a privilege. So we're going to let you hear it too. So we're going to cue this up, and the really cool thing is, 1, we've learned from a previous episode, and 2, we got a new skill.
Yes.
Oh, we learned. I'm not doing this on the back end. We're doing it live into the switchboard right now. So cross your fingers right now.
Pressure is a privilege. That's what makes you. And mistakes are not failures. Do not ever perceive a mistake as a failure. Perceive it as feedback. Everything is feedback. Pay attention. Be curious. Be nimble. Don't take things personally. And never lose sight of your dream. Struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation.
All right. So pressure is privilege. Talk to me a little bit about what you heard in that video, Samantha.
I think for me, the thing that stood out the most is everything is feedback. And I think that's tied into some of our previous episodes, but just really how we are navigating life.
Right. Every opportunity, every mistake is feedback.
Yeah. It's that question I ask myself all the time. If something isn't going well or it didn't pan out the way I thought it would, it's what am I supposed to learn from this? And that seems to bring some peace. You're finding feedback even if somebody's not directly giving it to you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's trial and error. It's the same thing when you do succeed too. What allowed you to succeed that you could hit replay on or that you could put into a new passion, a new project? What went well? What didn't go well? And analyzing both those categories, right?
Yeah. And I think making sure we're not taking that personally because it's so easy to get stuck in that kind of like victim mentality, right? Of like, oh, this just always happens. It doesn't ever work out. Instead of really looking at what aspects we can control and improve and do better, fail better.
Absolutely. Well, I think too, with that, what you said, as the person getting feedback, it can often feel so personal. But when I'm giving feedback, it's personal in a way that I'm hopeful it gives and leads to growth. Where when I'm sometimes getting feedback, it can feel like a personal attack. So either way, it is personal, but how we're perceiving that. I mean, if someone is taking the opportunity to give some sort of feedback and it's a trusted individual in your life, I think that's an opportunity to really grow from.
I agree. I think, too, that delivery is super important, whether we're doing it with students or colleagues or family members, too. I kind of like to lead and think that like self-awareness is important. And I like to think that most of the people around me are pretty self-aware, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would do this with students too, where it's kind of like I would almost solicit their own feedback about whatever it is they were doing.
Yeah.
Because chances are they saw some of the same things I did. And then you're able at that point to just have a conversation about it. And then
bounce ideas, bounce problem solving.
Yes, those actions that we do it all the time, I feel like, in everything that we're doing.
Absolutely.
It is. It's like, okay, what do we do next? How do we do this better? And that's important.
It really is important. And I think too, when I think of students or I think of athletes that I'm coaching, sometimes I think of over feedback as well. Because like you said, a lot of times we identify a lot of the errors we've made or things we can improve upon, and having that thought partner is actually more important than getting opinions from someone, but like maybe ideas on problem solving or allowing you just a space to talk and think. So allowing your students to have that self-feedback first. And already they're entering into the conversation with things that are meaningful to them, and it's less likely that they're feeling attacked, right?
Yep.
They're feeling that you are a safe space to grow. So I think that self-identification first. And I coach with a woman named Hannah, and she's one of our teachers in the district, and she's super awesome. But we always say and talk to each other about things that we see, and then we always remind each other, allow them to kind of talk first. Remember, hey, as you go down there, let's see what they say first. Because we've been there.
Good.
We've been players, right? We know when we come off the field and a kid just, did a great move and ripped it upper 90 and scored a goal on me, I know that I failed there a little bit. I don't need someone to come give me that feedback, but maybe I need a space to be like, and recognize that with someone. Be like, Coach, dude, I know this is what happened and this is how I plan to go forward. Great.
Do you feel that, we both have kids in parenting as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if I sit there and I list all the things you need to do or how you didn't do something, how well that's received isn't always where I want it to be.
And that's feedback for us.
Yeah, it is. It is. But when I have the conversation of more like, hey, like if it's something simple, like how did you clean your room? Yeah. That's like we're seeing two different things.
Did you know?
Yeah. Tell me more about that. And I feel like every time I give even one of my own personal children the opportunity to sort of say what I'm gonna say, it's just better. And then the action step is we're ready to go now.
Absolutely.
And I do the same thing when someone's like, hey, can you unload the dishwasher? Like, I was already on my way to do that, but now that you asked,
I don't want to.
it just changes the narrative a little bit. But I like what you said. It's when people all get to participate in the conversation, then big things can happen.
Absolutely. And I think another piece of that video that stuck out was the be curious. And I always say that, raising curious clickers as far as technology goes. Like we want you to tap and see what that button. We actually just had a moment with the switchboard.
We did.
We kicked off the episode trying to figure out how to get you all that video. And we struggled. So our productive struggle, right?
Yes, because it was recorded. We played it back. No video.
No.
Like we could hear it in our headphones.
We absolutely could. Billie Jean did not come across in the recording.
No.
So, and it was funny because I gave you feedback. I was to the point where I was really annoyed, and
she didn't think it was possible.
No. I mean, I did. I just didn't know if it was possible how we record.
Yeah.
Like in the system we record. Because to give me a little bit of credit, we were recording on a different platform.
True.
When we tried this out.
Yep.
Gosh.
That was
2 months ago.
It was.
Wow.
It was.
Thanks for hopping on this journey with us, guys. But she hit a button. She's like, look, it says media when I hit this button. And I
go, out loud, it'll go mixed. And then if you hit it again, it'll go direct.
And she said, like mixed media, not like a direct microphone. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not what it means. And she's like, well, we're going to try it. And I said, yeah, we will. So we entertain each other. We give our feedback. And guess what? Samantha was right. And we were able to filter that video to you today.
Yeah.
So it's always important to, not necessarily that you question me, but we wanted to follow through and see.
Yeah. We learned that from the first time. Didn't we do a whole episode where we weren't mic'd in?
100%. Yeah. I learned something every episode. And it's a theme. It's actually a theme. And I promise it's not planned. It's not pre-planned to be this bad at podcasting.
No.
We just own it. But it kind of goes back into this. We have a great time doing these podcasts and finding these moments to reach to our listeners and go through our doom scroll. So that's how we got here anyways, is through that doom scroll. And we have these moments to connect. And we just want you to know that it is authentic. We are learning. We are getting feedback. And all of the topics we've covered so far are just real life that we encounter all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as this Billie Jean video, we just thought, it really struck a chord because it applied to so many aspects of our life. And being people who give feedback so often and being people who get it, right? We get it from our coaches. We get it from our principals. We get it from admin.
I used to tell people I'm a feedback junkie.
Okay.
Like, when you're a teacher in a classroom and you get observation, you get observed.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice if somebody comes in like, hey, that went really well.
Right.
Cool. I can't do anything with that though.
Right.
Like I would like to know, like, give me growth action points because it just feeds me feedback.
Absolutely.
I just love it. So a feedback junkie.
I love that. And if you come with some negative feedback for me, sometimes I set up a whole nother meeting to talk about that.
That's okay though.
When I was observed one time, my principal in a different district told me that I didn't have enough student work on display. I'm not really sure why I didn't. I don't know. But basically, I peppered every square inch that was open with student work. And then I had my students mail him through the system their own work for him to put in his office to ensure they were represented across the building. And then we invited him in to make sure he saw the growth.
I love that. Did he give you feedback on that?
He did. And the next year he came back in and let me know that he couldn't spend another minute in my room because it was too consumed by things. And I was like, well, it was a monster of your own making.
That's good.
But in all honesty, it made me reflect because I have a hard time sometimes with feedback. I do take it personally. And I was like, what do you mean I don't have student work? There's student work right there. But once I took a moment with my kids, the best part is they were so engaged and found such value in being represented in the room that I could never forget it going forward.
Yeah.
So it goes back to another point, which, hey guys, spoiler alert, we recorded this session again.
We did.
Another common of us. We record these twice, it seems like. The first time, it might get aired. It might not. We just found it a little
I think we
lacking.
Literally both finished and we're like,
so the feedback from each other was maybe we reshoot with a little more passion there.
For sure. And we could it's 4.5. We could make it shorter.
And we talked a little bit about giving time for feedback to really set in. Like, even if it sets you off a little bit or makes you angry or makes you sad, like, man, I thought I nailed that, but people out there are seeing that maybe I didn't. Let that sit. Like, it doesn't have to be responded to immediately. It doesn't have to be responded to in that project. But where's it going to take you? Because every moment is feedback. Every moment is an area for growth. The other thing I liked about this video was mistakes. And this is one that actually, luckily enough, I've not had too much trouble with. I am happy to just fail over and over and over and make mistakes and know that it's a moment of growth. And I think helping other people become aware of that, like going into their classroom and having that relationship where other teachers, students are able to fail in front of me and feel comfortable with that is a piece I love about my job too.
Failure leads to success. Super Camp 101.
Let's take it back. Rewind. Right. In case of you didn't catch that episode, Samantha, tell us you've got 10 seconds to tell me what that is.
Oh, Super Camp. It was a super cool camp that I went to learn how to do great things and basically walked away with failure leads to success.
Boom.
Yeah.
Money well spent.
Yeah, take that back. But if you want more details, episode like 2? Yeah.
You could also Google Super Camp.
Yeah, but also do that with episode 2.
Yeah, and the one last thing that we talked about too, go out there, win it, earn it, and get it out into the universe. So if you are trying for something, not only are we taking mistakes and learning from them, we're taking feedback, but we're also getting things out into the universe. So I'd like to take a moment to tell you about my weekend. I was in my first pickleball tournament. I took silver. Thank you. I was very excited. But the real win was the vendors. So Samantha knows a little bit about me and vendors.
I do.
I love a good vendor that has some really good things sitting out on the desk. I always say, first thing I told Samantha when we went to our first conference together, I was like, if you see something on a table, make sure you ask for it. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, you just go up and you say, hey, that whatever is really cool. Can I have it? And she's like, that doesn't work. I go, come on.
No. If you are ever not sure how to speak up for what you want, you just go to a conference with Kristen. She's going to show you how to do it.
Well, I got to put that power into practice this weekend and get things out in the universe. So there was this really cool pickle, Samantha. It's at Home Depot. It is a TikTok viral pickle. It's got a pickleball paddle, pickleball ball, and it dances with a Christmas hat. I don't know the Christmas song. Super cute. You need to Google it.
You'll have to send me a video.
Okay, I'll find it and I'll send it. Anybody else, look it up. But basically, my dad loves pickleball and I have nothing for Christmas for him. So I'm like, I'm getting this for my dad for Christmas. And the guy was like, well, you can't have it. It's part of a raffle, but you can fill out this paper. And I was like, well, okay, fine. I asked. So I'm going to take that fork in the road. I didn't get what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Next step, fill out the paper. So I fill out the paper, give him all my information. And I hand it to him, and he goes to take it, and I don't let go. And I look him in the eye, and I said, I just want you to know I'm going to win this pickle. And this guy's like, anything to get you out of my booth, lady. I'm like, all right, great. I'll see you in a couple hours during the drawing. So he gets up, and the best part is he finds me immediately. And as he's, like, shuffling around, he's, like, making eye contact. And I was, like, nodding, like, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. But spoiler alert, he pulled it out. It was me. So he's like, and the winner is Kristen Morris. And of course, I did a victory lap, got my rock fingers out. And this guy had to take a picture with me. And he was like, I honestly don't know how I pulled your name out of there. And I was like, I do. You put it in the universe. And I go, you telling me no at the booth was not going to be the end of my journey. And spoiler alert, if I wouldn't have won, I knew you had a second pickle and I would have worked really hard to get that one. even though it was for your grandkids. But I had faith that you could find another one. But it didn't get to that. I got it. So not only do we accept feedback, we move on from failure, but we need to be putting out into the universe the things that we want and making sure the people around us hear us. Because those biggest cheerleaders in your life, don't hide what you're trying to do from them because they're there with you, right? They're going to give you that feedback, that honored feedback, and help you move forward.
I love it.
All right.
We did it.
That's a wrap. All right. Well, don't forget, listeners, remember to stay
techie as heck.
It's like 11 or 12 minutes.